Hi, I'm Mark, and this is Let's Vibe, the channel all about crystals and our feelings. So, we are well, well into Virgo season, and so I wanted to share a crystal that fits very well with Virgo energies. And the crystal I chose for this video is moss agate. So, moss agate is a really pretty form of agate. It's translucent and it looks like it has, I don't know if you can see the details, but it looks like it has moss inside, like dark green. And then we've got these white markings. Honestly, this marking, the white, looks like an angel, like the profile of an angel, you know, like with the wings. I just recently saw that and took notice of that. I've had this stone for quite a while. So yeah, very pretty dark green, translucent, cloudy white form of agate. And this is, you know, agate in general has a very slow vibration. It's not a high vibe type of crystal. Very slow and gentle kind of vibration. Moss agate, that's just agate in general. There's so many different types of agate, but moss agate really has quite a powerful energy, and it is gentle, and I would say it is still relatively slow moving energy, but it's powerful in that it really opens up the heart chakra, and your emotional side. It opens up and it opens you up and allows emotions to come to the surface. And for that reason, I think moss agate was kind of uncomfortable for the first few years that I had this crystal. I didn't carry this crystal that often. In fact, rarely. In fact, truth is, I kept this crystal in one of my potted plants. I just figured it would best be used, you know, providing good vibrations to my plants. And it does do that. Moss agate is very earth energy very attuned to earth energy, and it does work with the plants. It is a good stone for keeping in a potted plant or in your garden. So it is beneficial for the garden, but I think I kind of relegated it to that role because it was just kind of uncomfortable. Because honestly, it is uncomfortable opening yourself to your feelings. And now I'm talking about like deeper feelings. I'm not talking about just surface level emotions that, you know, reactions that we have to different stimuli. Moss agate brings up the feelings, the deeper feelings, the really stuff from the past that has not been fully expressed, or even not from the past, but from the present moment, things that are being suppressed in the present moment. And that is uncomfortable. And I think that is a huge challenge and blockage for probably most people, myself included. the fact that it is really uncomfortable to open up to your feelings, which makes a stone like this difficult to carry sometimes. But what I have found over and over and over again is that if I'm willing to walk through or crawl through, depending on how intense we're talking, if I'm willing to move through those feelings, there's another side. And I think we aren't really aware of that. You know, we don't talk about that. It's, I think most people or a lot of people just have not experienced it. But when you push through, meaning, you know, what do I mean by push through? What I mean is when you just allow those feelings to move through and let them run their course, because they do have their own course, so to speak. Let it run its course. Let it move through you. You come out on the other side of that, and I'm telling you, it's incredible. The feeling of freedom, the feeling of lightness and healing, the sense of joy, because you finally allowed whatever feeling was just sitting in the depths, you allowed it to come out, which means you allowed it to be felt. And that's the hard part, is feeling it. That's why I find it so ridiculous and kind of comical how, you know, especially in American society, masculinity is associated with a total inability to feel, which is really ironic because it takes serious strength to let yourself feel. So moss agate, you know, all of that being said, moss agate is definitely a tool. I mean, all crystals are tools for getting in tune with your feelings, but moss agate specifically gets you in tune with the feelings and perhaps old emotions, you know, really intense emotions that that we just didn't deal with. And that's really, you know, it was those kinds of experiences of moving through very painful emotions and coming out the other side feeling reborn. Honestly, it just feeling so renewed. That's what really, I think that is part of what motivated me to start this channel and to talk about these stones, because these stones, like moss agate, are tools for connecting with those feelings, moving through those feelings, understanding, you know, getting a better understanding of yourself, of the feelings, where they come from. It's all self-improvement. It's all the kind of self-work that clears out the baggage. What's baggage? Fears, anxieties, worries, the thoughts that play over and over in your mind that keep you stuck or block you from doing things that you really want to do. All of that stuff can be called baggage, and releasing that, it's just such a powerful experience. And the crystals, there's a crystal for every step of that process. And definitely moss agate is like the beginning of that process. Maybe not the very beginning, because it takes time to open. If you haven't been in tune with yourself and your feelings, it's gonna take time to open up. So it can be a pretty slow process, but a stone like moss agate can really help, especially in the beginning stages. And the reason I chose this for Virgo, Virgo is an earth sign. Moss agate is strongly connected with the earth. But also, more than that, Virgo energy is, being an earth energy, it's not so much, it's not closely connected with emotions. And so I was reading that, because I don't have any Virgo placements, except maybe one asteroid. And it's a lesser known asteroid, but so I don't have any big Virgo placements, but I was reading about Virgos and reading how, Virgo energy is very detail oriented, and there's a drive for perfection, and getting all the little pieces just right, and so very analytical, but not very emotional. So a stone like moss agate is good for if you are a Virgo or you have some strong Virgo placements. Moss agate allows you to come to center. It's a quieting stone. Energetically speaking, it's a quieting stone, which allows you to then open up and take a look at those feelings. So it's grounding, it's slow vibration, it's quieting, it's protective, like all agates, with the exception of blue lace agate. And it's just all around a perfect stone for anyone, but especially Virgos, to sit down and take a moment to get in tune with what they're feeling, with what you're feeling, and naming those feelings, and looking into, where is this coming from? Why am I feeling this? What triggered it? The reward of doing that and following through is just, it's hard to put into words, because it just is like this experience of freedom of the mind, body, spirit, heart. It's really worth it. It's worth the discomfort. But of course, when doing this kind of work, you always want to make sure that you have a support system in place. You've got trusted friends or family, a mentor, a therapist. Make sure you have support, because it can get serious. Emotions can really get intense, and it's really good to make sure that you have someone that you can call or lean on as you're going through that process. I feel like moss agate is also quite magical, in the sense that it has a shamanic kind of energy, because it's so earth-based and so grounding and opening. I think it makes a good crystal for shamanic journeying or astral traveling. No, shamanic journeying. Moving through the lower world or the middle world. It definitely has that kind of quality to it. And in that sense, I just, moss agate is quite a powerful stone. All right, so in the time between this video and my last video about Agni Manatite, I came across a song that I think fits Agni Manatite really well. So I'm gonna include, oh, well, before I say that, the song that I picked for Agni Manatite is none other than Melanie C. Not Mel B, Mel C. I think she used to go by Mel C, and now it's Melanie C, because her most recent album is self-titled Melanie C. If you aren't familiar with Melanie C, she was formerly Sporty Spice of the Spice Girls, one of my all-time favorite pop groups when I was growing up. I did not follow any of the Spice Girls after they broke up and went on their separate solo careers. I didn't follow them, but only in like recent months I heard some of Melanie C's new songs, and I love her new album, her self-titled album, because it's more of a dance pop album. And anyway, the first song, I believe it's the first song, is titled Who I Am. And I think it's the perfect song for Agni Manatite, because it's all about releasing masks and facades, releasing the defense mechanisms, and just shining and being who you are. And I think that fits the Agni Manatite energy pretty well. So I will include a link to Melanie C's Who I Am in the description box below. Now, as for moss agate, I settled on a song by Carly Rae Jepsen, and the song is called Surrender My Heart. Really nice song. The lyrics, I think, just, they're perfect for this this crystal and this topic that I was talking about of opening up, connecting with your feelings, connecting with your heart, and letting go of the baggage. So I will include a link to Surrender My Heart by Carly Rae Jepsen down below. And I just want to remind everyone, I am open for tarot and oracle readings. If you're interested in getting a reading, send me an email. I will have my email address in the description box, and you can send your inquiries to that address. As always, I love to hear from you, so leave questions or comments down below. And once again, thank you so much for vibing with me.